What's up, everyone? This is Bevin with Den of Geek, and I am at Teen Titans Go! No, I'm kidding. This is not Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go. This is not a cartoon. This is a very dark and serious Teen Titans. It's called Titans. And we're here to find out how they've grown up and matured-ish. So let's go, shall we? For people like me, I grew up with Teen Titans Go, Young Justice. Is it fair to say that this is more in the vein of Young Justice than any of the others?
I don't think that's not necessarily. I mean, look, you grew up with the series, so you're exactly the person we want to meet where you are in your life right now. With the show that taking these characters you grew up with, who were age appropriate as you were going through your progression, and now it's hitting you at a spot where you're a young adult or an adult and trying to tell more grounded adult stories. So that's the whole idea. Is these characters felt ready to be taken into that world, a more grounded, realistic place.
Is there a reason why we decided to stick with Robin as opposed to just putting him right in Nightwing?
Well, Dick Grayson's on a journey, and that journey has got a lot of stages in it. What's it like when you've been replaced? Either your ex is seeing someone else, or your idol mentors moved on to have a new one. How do you feel about that? We have such a fantastic actor playing Colonel Walters. Brings up all the energy and the kind of punk rock attitude of Jason Todd. It's fun to see those two run together.
So talk to me a little bit about when you're approaching the show and trying to mature it, what kind of tone balance you went with it.
Sure. I mean, the tone we really took was from the comics more than the animated series, obviously. We wanted to really explore these characters that when we meet them, they're all lost, they're all in different places, and only by coming together can they find a place in the world.
Was there a particular comic that you insisted all the actors to read when they got the part?
I mean, all the actors and the writers, we just read Marv's Run, all the big storylines, Judas Contract, everything. That was really key, just to understand the basics.
I find it interesting that, like with Dick Grayson, I know that there was some history with them, but I found it interesting that for him as well, he's run away, he's in Detroit, he's kind of angry at him, and I'm wondering what period in his life he is where he felt like he needed to run from Batman.
Well, we really started, when we first started talking about Titans and where to start Dick Grayson, the conversations originally where he's Nightwing, and then we had all these talks about Rachel and Raven and what her story was, and she's really struggling with this internal darkness and trying to come to terms with who she is. And we wanted Robin's story to mirror that in a way. It's really mirror Raven's struggle and have Robin's interaction with Rachel mirror and also contrast against Batman's interaction with Robin, so that Dick Grayson, who is at this crossroads now of struggling with his own inner darkness and trying to leave Robin behind but being unable to, meets this young girl who's struggling in a different way, and then is he going to be able to do what Bruce wanted to do with him? And he doesn't like what Bruce ended up doing with him, and so he's reluctant to take this girl on as a kind of a protege or a surrogate daughter. And that's really where the core of it comes from, and why Dick Grayson, when we meet him, is where he is.
We try very hard to say, okay, when you're in a horror episode, you're in a horror episode. When you're in an action episode, you're in an action episode. But they may not be standalone episodes themselves. They're just pieces of episodes. So we move through different tones. It's tricky.
Right, and you also decided to put some Jason Todd in there, too, to maybe hint even more of a dark shadow coming.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would watch the Jason Todd Dick Grayson show for the rest of my life, because the dynamic between the two of them is impossible, because it's so authentic and dark and yet at the same time funny. It's quite something.
And then you throw in Damian Rain and the whole thing goes.
Give us time.